So, for those of you that don't know, I have PTSD. It's one of the biggest reasons I'm not reporting on a lot of stuff that's going on with Ukraine. It's something I was expecting for a long time anyway. I keep a track of everything. I keep track of world events. I understand the mind of Xi. I understand the mind of Putin. I understand the mind of a lot of other people because I've studied it. But sometimes it triggers my PTSD. Like when January 6th happened in America last year with Donald Trump and tried to overthrow America with the help from other fellow Trump supporters, which were terrorists now. That's pretty much what Trump supporters are, national terrorists. It really affected me to the point where I had to go get help because I've been fighting a long time, and I get upset when veterans get treated like crap on jobs, but you got veterans out there that are trying to overthrow America, and it just, all the work and all the things that you fight for, it goes out the window real quick. And now, a lot of you know I'm Philippines. This is where I live, and I'm seeing some repeats of some of the stuff that's going on with Filipino people when it comes to China, some of the ignorance that they got going on. And it's pretty, it comes burdensome. It really does. And even my current wife right now, she doesn't even understand PTSD. She just thinks it's like a simple solution. You just go to sleep. That's, and and I don't fault her for that. A lot of people don't understand it. They don't understand the, sometimes it's hard to even explain. It feels like an elephant just sitting on your brain, and you just, sometimes you can't stop thinking. You wish you were like everybody else, this mindless drone walking around without a care in the world, and it doesn't really work that way. And I've seen, like I said, every video coming out of Ukraine that gets posted. I've seen all the false propagandas. I've read a lot of comments from Russians, and it's funny, it's because a lot of Russians simulated what a lot of Americans did, where they prefer to believe a lie that Russia is a good, they're not doing any of that stuff. Then you come to find out, even though you've been watching Donald Trump and some of the people he hired were a lot of the Russian people that tried to overthrow Ukraine. And so I see this one video, this pro-Trump supporter video, and they talk about Democrats at war and progress. And in the video, he said that the current Ukraine president, what she said, that he's not a good person. He locked up all his 4 other people for political reason. That wasn't the case. And she was very misleading. So when you come to find out that what happened was in Ukraine simulated what happened January 6th. So the people that got elected were banned for power, and Russia's Putin put his own people in. Well, people protested because they wanted somebody else to be president, and eventually he ran and escaped the country, but she said he locked up. So you get a lot of Trump supporters there deliberately falsifying misinformation, right? And then you get I've seen some CGI videos of Nancy Pelosi, and I'm no Nancy Pelosi fan, during the speech that she was doing all this stuff. And when you watch the speech, the real speech, it doesn't even, the CGI should be completely obvious anyway. So you get all these Trump supporters that are deliberately doing this stuff, but you see some of the simulations, what Trump supporters are doing, that's already been done in Ukraine first, right? Because Donald Trump hired a lot of these Russian people that were experts at trying to overthrow elections from the Ukraine. Then you start seeing Filipinos becoming involved in this, right? And for those of you that don't know, Filipinos are getting ready to hire a Chinese candidate. Well, he's not Chinese, he's pro-Chinese. He's brought and paid for. They're getting ready to hire a guy named Marcos Bongbong. I call him Ding Dong Bongbong. And they don't know any policy of his. He doesn't talk about any policy of his. It's just China's his friend. China's his friend. And some of the stuff that was happening in Russia and Ukraine happened when Russia interfered with Donald Trump, helping him try to overthrow the election. They're doing that in the Philippines now with their favorite candidate. And I'm seeing the same emulation across the board over and over again, right? And it's a shame. So when you have PTSD and you're trying to help people because you don't want them to suffer, you don't want them to go through what you go through, and it just becomes this tiring event. And sometimes you just get mad and say, you know what, I'm just going to stop helping people. I'm going to let everybody die. I'm going to let everybody, learn the hard way about your ignorance. So yeah, when it comes to PTSD and some of the stuff going around, and what's funny? I volunteered to go to Ukraine in a minute. It wouldn't even look like I had PTSD because combat is the only thing that ever made sense. And it's a lot of people don't know, but PTSD is very rarely war related. A lot of people might get mad at me for saying it, but it really is. Most of it's either chain of command related, and some of it's side issues with the war relations. I can't explain any deeper than that. So it's not like direct combat related, although it can be. Some portion of it is, but most PTSD is not direct combat related. So if I was to go to combat in Ukraine, I'd feel at home. Everything makes sense to me. It wouldn't even bother me. But that's actually the part of the PTSD, because it should bother me and it doesn't. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody, right? Because this whole thing about a noble cause, if you're going to die, die honorably, it makes peace in your life, especially when you have PTSD. And war should bother everybody. So the first sign of PTSD is when war actually doesn't bother you. It's what happens after the war is over, when you have to readjust. You know what I'm saying? It's a very complicated issue. And no PTSD maybe even be the same. My PTSD is not going to be the same as somebody else's. Then again, it might be, because of the amount of stress that somebody has to go through. And what's going to happen in Ukraine, and I've seen a lot of civilians, a lot of them are going to have PTSD. You know, you're talking about people losing their livelihoods. They're having to run for their lives. They're exhausted. They haven't eaten. There's no clean water maybe at some times. They're dodging bullets. And the amount of physical trauma that's going on in their brain isn't the combat related part. It's the fleeing from combat part that's causing it. And I might be nitpicking, but it's true. And so when I'm thinking at night, when I'm laying and I can't sleep, my wife doesn't understand why sometimes in the morning I'm just laying there, because I'm just physically exhausted. This is the stuff that I'm thinking about. Because I've been thinking about doing a video about Marcos and some of the other candidates, comparing what they're going to run on. I'm trying to get Filipinos to think a little bit more about their candidates, but this is mostly their country. I can't do anything for them. Yeah, I mean, I have the right to live here. I've been here for 6 years, but I'm not here. Right? I can't tell them not to do this. I can tell them what I think on it. I could tell them, are you sure you want to vote for this person? Did you know this? Did you know that? But at the end of the day, the Filipinos are going to have to burden their responsibility for the people that they vote for. And if they vote for Marcos, Filipinos can't complain when you're hungry, when he prefers Chinese people over them for jobs, for construction. Because they were to pass a law in the Philippines that if they hire a Chinese contractor, it used to be when they hired a Chinese contractor, they had to hire so many Filipinos, but they got rid of that now. So Chinese come in, they don't have to hire Filipinos anymore. And that's what happened under Duterte. And a lot of people went starving. So, I mean, even in America, right? I don't think Biden's good for veterans, but it doesn't mean Trump is. So when you're watching videos, people are posting online about Donald Trump treating veterans, but no. Putin literally put out bounties on American soldiers' heads that if you kill them, especially in Syria, he's going to pay. Donald Trump didn't care. Donald Trump didn't do anything for veterans. The only thing he did was sign a bill saying a veterans worker, like a doctor, nurse, can be fired for incompetence. Ooh, big whoopie-doo-dah, man. Right now, we don't have a president that does anything for veterans. But at the same time, veterans are not doing anything for veterans either when you're trying to overthrow America. Because you're mad because your guy didn't win. This whole red versus blue is destroying everything, and it just gives opportunities for China and Russia to come in and provoke. Americans are causing their own problems. Filipinos are causing their own problems. And meanwhile, while everybody's simulating, emulating what's already been happening, nobody's learning anything. And it's really funny. This is the age of information where it's too easy to look up online facts, and nobody does. A lot of this is just word of mouth. They hear it from somebody else. They don't fact check. So if you're a Trump supporter, you're going to subscribe to Trump supporter things. So when you go online, you see a girl talk about, oh, the Ukrainian president was never a good person anyway. He locked up all his other political opponents. Nobody fact checked it. 1,000 people were kind of, oh yeah, this is because of Biden. It's just stupid comments over and over again. It's because of Biden. Trump was president. This one happened. It's stupid. Man, that's what the whole world's turned into. This big stupid soup bowl. And so, yeah, that's why I try not to report on it. I'm trying not to even watch it, but sometimes you just compelled, and you got to see it. You got to see it because in your mind, you want to know how to adjust. And you want to see this because you don't want to... So if it does happen, you get some kind of... You're used to it. because that's what I'm expecting to happen soon in the Philippines. That's what I'm expecting to happen in America, completely fold under. I don't understand why everybody in America is talking about killing each other, and they do it all the time. Everybody's blaming, and it just... So yeah, I mean, sometimes when you have PTSD, my recommendation is just turn off the news, find an island somewhere, live by yourself, and just be happy, because the whole world around you is just stupid. Anyway, this is just Joe's Corner. I'm just letting you know why I don't report on the war so much, why I don't talk about politics like I used to. It's because I can't sleep for 3-4 days at a time as it is. And it's really rough because I'm trying to help people and trying to provoke people to think, and it just, you can't do it. Anyway, thank you for watching. Have a nice day.